your clients are coming into you saying that they have tight hip flexors, I need you to check this first. Now we're going to look at the modified Thomas test because this is what we use to see if we have a tight psoas, a tight TFL, or a tight quad. Now, oftentimes it's not really tight, but it could be hypertonic. So we need to distinguish between whether it's hypertonic, overused, or if it's truly tight. So Blake's going to slide his legs together. He's going to slide right to the edge of the table here. He's going to roll backwards onto his back, bring his knees into a chest. Good. He's going to lock up that hip all the way up, okay? We want this locked all the way up. You know, I know some of the literature says 90 degrees. No, not good enough. We want to see, can they completely lock up one side of the pelvis and then drop the leg down? Now, I'm just going to let that fall. If they're hanging up here, okay, and the leg just falls, maybe it's a tight psoas, but we can do a little muscle energy here. So if Blake kicks up his leg into my hand here, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And now all of a sudden we have more range. We have a hypertonic hip flexion, but then we have to ask ourselves, why is that hypertonic? If we're looking at more TFL, we're going to come over more across midline. Again, he kind of hangs up here a little bit. Push your knee up into my hand. 3, 2, 1, let it go. We get a little bit more range. So is it truly a tight TFL? No, it's a hypertonic one. Also think of what nerve roots also feed into that TFL. And then for your rectus femoris, I'm just going to keep that knee bent, let it fall, and he's got no issue there. Okay, so we have a tight TFL on the right, and we're going over to the left hip. Just let's see where it falls, kind of hanging up here. Kick the knee up into my hand. So a little bit of hypertonicity, the leg's not really falling, let it go. But we can clean that up with a simple muscle energy technique. Come over into his TFL, same thing. At least he's symmetrical. Kick the knee up into my hand, go back down, and that cleans up. So we made quick changes in his hip extension. So we technically don't have tight hips, but we have hypertonic hips. So to find out if we have a strength issue, we're going to manual muscle test in the short range. So the hip flexors, they flex, and they slightly abduct, and they slightly externally rotate. I'm going to lock them up here. I'm going to stabilize at the hip here. Hold the leg, going pull, hold. And he's got some good force production. Oftentimes, when we see those hypertonic hips or those hips that hit the table, but they always feel tight, they're often weak in that short range, so we have to go after that. So we don't have a strength issue there when we're looking at the psoas. Come over here, hold the leg, and that's good as well. If we're looking more at that TFL, we're going to flex, internally rotate, push. TFL works just fine. Okay, check over this side, hold, pushing down and in, TFL works fine. Now, we're going to look at how the neck is affecting it. So if we go after myotomes, okay, which we should screen with everybody, we're going to look at L4, 5, push your big toe up towards the ceiling, push up. That's fine, push the toe down. So that was L5, that's S1, foot up towards the ceiling, L4, kick up into my hand, kick up. L3, hold the leg. L2, hold the leg, L1. Okay, L1's a little boggy there. And yes, when you place your hand over the umbilicus, it does change the myotome. Because where your hand placement, it does matter at the mapping in the sensory motor cortex. So push the big toe up. So it's L5. So L5 feels a little squishy here. Big toe down. S1, foot up towards the ceiling, push up. L4, kick up into my hand, kick up. L3, hold the leg. L2, hold again. And L1's fine on this side, push. Okay, and give it gas. Just doing a little bit of a pull on a myotome, especially with a hip flexion, you're not going to win. It's a big muscle. We have to expect a lot from it. So what we saw with Blake's neck is he hinges a little bit at the neck. So we're going to get him to slide up on the table a little bit. And he's going to drop the head, tilt the chin up. So he's kinking the hose. Remember, everything is a bunch of tubes. Okay, we have the dural tube, spinal column. You kink one end of the tube at the top, it can affect electrical and nerve conduction down below. Now, we felt something with an L5 on the left, big toe up towards the ceiling, push up, and that's not as good. Okay, we'll go back and check L1, hold the leg, that's fine, hold. L2 still fine, kick up into my hand, kick up. L3 still fine, push up, 4, good. And down, S1 still fine. So by extending and kinking the hose at the top, it actually sensitized, so this is myotomal sensitization testing, it sensitized that L5. So we know we have an L5 issue, but the neck is contributing to it. So coming back over here, big toe up, big toe down. So L5, S1's fine. Foot up, L4, kick up into my hand, kick up. L3, hold the leg. L2, hold, hold. And that keeps getting worse. So we've confirmed we have an L1 issue on the right, and we have an L5 issue on the left. And both of them are being contributed to neck positioning. So what this tells us is we're not going to necessarily treat just the tight hip, but we need to treat higher up. We might need to stabilize looking at somebody who hinges. Come on up there, Blake. Looking at somebody who hinges, when he looks up, he compresses that neck. It's obviously affecting down below. So we need to do some stability exercises here at the neck, as well as work on some of the hypertonicity around the hips. Just because you get needling or shockwave or whatever around the tight hips, it feels good, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get better.